Good evening, race fans, and welcome to race number 12 for the Next Gen Cup Thursday Night Series with Doghouse Racing League. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action, 1080p, 60 frames a second, as drivers are getting their lone qualifying wrapped up. We're going to go over briefly what the race is today and what we're going to be doing here at Iowa Speedway, just under a mile-long track. We're going to be doing 80 laps here, fixed setups for every driver here that is participating, 50% fuel, and a single set of tires, and no fast repairs are going to be given out during this race. So, it's going to be a very interesting one coming from last week, where we saw Eric Peck taking away the win. Andrew Pratt, who we thought was possibly going to win that race, who does not, he actually is here in the number 75 machine. He led 32 of the 40 laps of caution-free racing on his way to a second place finish for last week, the week prior at Daytona for the Daytona 100, and Darrell Whiteside finishing it out in third place. And as drivers are just now actually getting themselves wrapped up for qualifying, it would appear, as there are no drivers currently on track. I believe everyone has either decided that they're going to set a time or that they're not going to here today. So we are going to wait ever so patiently for our grid results to finally make their way onto the screen once the timer has gone out for the allotted time to put in your qualifying laps. And I have to say, everyone, it's going to be quite an exciting race here. We're also going to go over the current point standings as well and how close that is here in this series. Now we're going to take a look at our grid here as well. Jonathan Jennings going to be starting out in first place. Teddy Wisniewski in second. That's going to be rounding out your first row. Justin McMahon in third place. Andrew Pratt in fourth. Eddie Rivers in fifth. Andrew Corr in sixth. Jeffrey Wimmer in seventh. William Gentry in eighth. Steve Gerber in ninth. Nick Reynolds in 10th. Wesley Whitfield in 11th. Leander Johnson in 12th. Andrew Williams in 13th. Daniel Wilkerson in 14th. Michael Bowen in 15th. John Mickey in 16th. Dave Bush in 17th. Randall Barnett in 18th. Chuck Cobb in 19th. Eric Peck, in 20th. Kevin Thompson in 21st. And Doug Solms rounding it out in 22nd. That is going to be our field here today. And my, oh my, we have quite the field of drivers here tonight. Going to be taking on Iowa here head on, as drivers are patiently waiting for everyone to get themselves onto the grid. I believe there is a 2 or a 3 minute time frame to get yourself on the grid before the pace car rolls off without you. You are kind of left to start from the pits, which some drivers do opt to do here in some of these races here. But going over last week as well, we saw quite a bit of competition from all of these drivers here. Eric Peck, Andrew Pratt, Darrell Whiteside, who we mentioned already. All three of these drivers, all extremely competitive in the last week's race. And now we have some newcomers out in the front of the field. Well, not necessarily newcomers, but we have some new faces out in the front of the field starting it off this week at Iowa. Jonathan Jennings going to be on the bottom line here with Teddy Wisniewski on the outside in the 26 machine, starting it out behind the pace car here today for the first few laps of race number 12 at Iowa Speedway. Things are going to be shaping up and getting ready to rock and roll here very, very quickly, as that Light on that pace car is out, so once that pace car gets around and dives down to pit road, it's going to be go time. I believe this is going to be our last lap around the track as we've just crossed the checkered line here once again. And I believe that will be our final time here, and that will kick off our race here today. And folks, I hope you are all excited, because I certainly know that I am. Coming down the back stretch here, we're going to see that pace car head down into pit road as it should make a quick dive into pit road, coming down out of turn 4. And there it goes. Drivers are going to be waiting for the green flag to start the race off. Race number 12 here at Iowa Speedway, and here we go. The number 95 and the 26 going side by side going into turn number 1. The 26 of Teddy Wisniewski going way wide there for just a second, but he's going to keep it into the middle, actually preferring almost to go up into the wall there. You can see the rest of the field behind them, all choosing different sorts of paths to take here. There's a lot of room on this track here at Iowa Speedway. Plenty of options for drivers to find different grooves, different opportunities to overtake, and honestly play defense and do whatever they possibly can in this race to put themselves as high up the grid as they possibly can. And Teddy Wisniewski is right now looking to be the guy to catch up to and to possibly beat here today. Jonathan Jennings and Justin McMahon are also behind him, currently almost duking it out side by side. Not quite. We have Justin McMahon leading out in front in second place currently of the number 95 of Jonathan Jennings, who we saw start out in the front of the grid here tonight. So it's unfortunate to see the number 95 dropping down as far as he did. He's down 2 positions from where he started in third. He's in third place currently, so he started in first, and just found some other drivers that are just a little bit faster here right off the get, and some drivers might not give it all they have in qualifying, so that kind of makes sense to see some of that action happening here and developing. But as the first and second place drivers are starting to separate from the rest of the field, let's take a look at Andrew Pratt, our second place race finisher from from Daytona. He's going to find himself in fourth place currently. He's still in the same spot from where he started, so he's going to be quite comfortable there. But I think he's going to want to push himself up that grid as quickly as he possibly can. He's got the 95 of Jonathan Jennings to catch up to right now, and there he is. He's going to take the low line around the number 95 Jonathan Jennings, and he's going to leave him kind of standing in his standing on the upper side of the track there, not able to really do anything, put any defense on Andrew Pratt. So Andrew's doing an excellent job there, and now Nick Reynolds tailing behind the number 75, going to get around the number 95 Jonathan Jennings as well. So now Jonathan, seeing that he's getting overtaken by multiple drivers, now he's starting to put up a little bit of defense here, blocking a few drivers that are now trying to make an attempt at passing him, as he's going to have the 07 of Wesley Whitfield, making a pass around the number 95 here as well. And now he's going to have Steve Gerber working his way on that bumper as well. So right now Jonathan Jennings is not looking in, he's not in a great spot right now. He definitely needs to be a little bit more aggressive and not let some of these guys pass him, or maybe that's a little bit of the strategy being played out here. Lap 8 of 80 here. There's still a long race left to go. We have Steve Gerber dropping down the grid rapidly here, as I was trying to catch him as he was falling down the grid. I'm not sure what's going on here with Steve. It seems like he just dropped down to the bottom of the track, and he's not happy with something. Definitely not happy with something going on in the car currently, as he locks it up going into pit road. But speaking of people putting doing some quite impressive things right now. Nick Reynolds in the number 54 up to second place now, up 8 positions from where he started at the beginning of this race. He's going to be chasing down the 26 of Teddy Wisniewski, but that's not without having competition around him. He has the 20 of Justin McMahon on his outside currently. He still has Justin right on his outside, so he's going to have to work his way out in front of that number 20 as he's able to here as they come out of turn number 4. Great work there from Nick Reynolds in the number 54. Now these two are going to be in a little bit of a pair. They have some other drivers behind them that might even form a line, get a little bit of draft going, and possibly catch up to that number 26, and maybe even put some pressure on Teddy for that first place position. But heading back further into the field, Wesley Whitfield in the 07 right now. He's preferring that low to middle line going out of these turns, going back up to the high side of the track where the grip is, where all the grip is rather. But Wesley is trying to do whatever he possibly can right now to just catch up to the rest of the guys in the front of the field at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job of it, up 6 positions from where he started. You got to hand it to him. That 07 is definitely pushing. He's definitely trying whatever he possibly can. And honestly, around him, there's 4 drivers that have currently not moved any positions from where they started. Justin McMahon, Andrew Pratt, Andrew Corer, and Jeffrey Weimer are all 4 drivers who are in the same exact spot from where they started. So right now, these guys are all setting about the same pace right now, and that's good for them, especially Justin McMahon and Andrew Pratt, who just went down position as Wesley Whitfield makes a pass around him. Those guys are all being extremely consistent in 3rd and 4th place. Andrew Pratt now in 5th, as Wesley has overtaken him for 4th place now. And Wesley is now looking to hunt down Justin in that number 20 machine. In lap 15 of 80, everything has been green flag so far, and I was honestly predicting that before the start of the race here tonight. I almost had an assumption that it was going to be some very consistent green flag runs here tonight at Iowa. There's just plenty of room on this track, and it's a very, very good place to get a lot of cars on track and to get side by side with each other and just race hard. It's a very fun track, I do believe, for most drivers. Some might disagree with me, but can't win them all. But moving on, Wesley Whitfield doing an absolutely fantastic job. He's going to be a driver that I'm going to be looking out for here during the rest of this race. Now, I want to actually touch on as well our point standings for the current series as we enter into excuse me. All right, it seems like I am not able to show it to you unless... There it is. Let's try that again. All right, that's better. That makes me happy. Jonathan Jennings still in 1st place as far as points is concerned. Andrew Pratt in 2nd place. Doug Solms, I believe is the correct name. That is correct. And Kevin Thompson both swapped positions. Doug went up into 3rd place, Kevin down into 4th, Eric Peck in 5th, Darrell Whiteside in 6th, Randall Barnett in 7th, Nick Reynolds in 8th, Wesley Whitfield in 9th, and Daniel Wilkerson in 10th place currently. That is your season standings currently as of race 11 at Daytona. Now after this race, this might shake things up a little bit. There's after this race, there's only 2 left to go before the end of the season here. And next race, we are at Auto Club Speedway, so that's going to be a little interesting here as we have a car into the wall. The 07 of Wesley Whitfield coming out of turn 2 just gets into the wall just a little bit. It's going to slow him down. He's got oh man, just enough damage on that outside. It might be enough to affect that 07 just enough as we start to see the number 16 of Andrew Corer start to catch up to that 07 of Wesley Whitfield and possibly even get a little draft behind him going, but looking at that angle going by, it does not seem to be that it's too bad. It looks like Wesley was able to recover fairly well and rather quickly. So great work there from Wesley, not letting that get worse than it could have gotten. But looking back out in the front of the field here as well, Andrew Pratt in third place now as well, up one position from where he started now. Lap 23 of 80, we are close to that. Excuse me. We are just over that, about that third of the way through the race here. Or a quarter of the way through the race. I'm sorry. And everything is looking extremely solid so far for most of these guys. My big question right now is going to be what's the field going to start to look like once tire wear starts to come into play, and once fuel starts to come into play as well. I do believe we will be making one green flag fuel stop, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, as we do only have 50% fuel here. So some of these guys might be pushing the cars a little bit more aggressively than others, and they might find themselves out of fuel a lot sooner than the guys who have been saving and being a little bit more conservative on the throttle, not pushing nearly as aggressively. And speaking of people being aggressive and working their way through the field, Kevin Thompson, currently the man on top of that, is up 12 positions from where he started. He's now in 9th place. Excellent work there from Kevin in the number 99 machine, as he's going to be working his way up to the top 5 now, as he's cracked the top 10. Now it's time to get up into the front of the field even further and see what he can possibly do here. And let's even hop up into the blimp for just a moment and see how far away everyone is and just kind of where the field is standing. And we'll even have the track map up as well, so you can see on the bottom right hand side of your screen. Apologies for that. But as we're looking above Kevin Thompson right now in the number 99, and we have a caution out on track as well, with Wesley Whitfield seeming to be involved in that incident. Let's get a quick replay on that as see what happened. It looks like there was a little bit of contact there for just a moment. Let's back things up here just a little bit further just to get a broader picture of what happened here. That seems to be where the contact initiated. So we're looking at the 07 of Wesley Whitfield, who gets a little bit of contact from the 16 of Andrew Corer. And he gets sent down into pit road a little bit into the grass on the front stretch. And looks like Wesley just comes to a complete stop, even though there was no damage really taken to the car, at least to the, I mean, there was to the rear, but not as much as I would expect. But as drivers start to cycle into pit road as well, those that need it at least. We are going to take a very short commercial break here as well. We will be back in just a minute.
Squad up here. Daytona's a big one is out.
Welcome back, race fans. As we get the field sorted back out, lined back up here again, I believe we're going to do a double file restart here as well. We're going to see if this is the last time around. It is not. So it looks like drivers are now going to be getting themselves filed out into their proper positions, and the first caution of the race here tonight as well, lap 32, almost to that halfway mark. And I gotta say, it's been very, very impressive this entire race so far. Everyone has done an extremely impressive job, and the one caution that we have had here has been extremely, it was a single car incident, essentially. Well, not a single car incident. There was 2 cars involved, but there was only 1 car that was really affected by the incident, I should say. So far, everyone has done an excellent job, and now drivers have an opportunity to get another chance to start things off here once again and have another crack at possibly getting into the top 3 for the guys that have been on the hunt throughout this race. And this will be our last time around the track before we see the pace car head into pit road once again, and drivers have another shot at another green flag attempt here. As drivers patiently wait for that pace car to dive down to pit road, and there it goes. Drivers are going to have another chance to get things started here once again, and here we go. Teddy Wisniewski in the number 26. Absolutely impressive start there right off the rip. Justin McMahon also in second place, doing everything he possibly can to just try and catch up to that number 26, but that 26 has done a fantastic job both times, really. At the beginning of the race, he was able to get away from the rest of the pack very, very easily, it seemed like. It definitely seems like the 26 has some tricks up its sleeve here at Iowa today. But now, as I say that, Justin McMahon is now catching up to that number 26 in that. And it's looking pretty promising for that number 20 as he gets closer and closer, taking that bottom line. We also have Andrew Pratt, who's sneaking down the bottom as well, trying to get down below the number 20 of Justin McMahon. But Justin's not having it. He ducked down just in time to make sure that Andrew Pratt knew that he saw him, he knew he was there. But now we have Teddy Wisniewski and Justin McMahon duking it out side by side with Teddy on the outside, Justin on the inside, going down turn 3. We're going to come out of turn 4. Who is going to be out in front? Is it going to be Teddy? Is it going to be Justin? It looks like right now it's Justin. He's got Andrew Pratt in his draft right behind him, so Andrew is going to be giving him a little bit of bump draft support, but that's quickly evaporated as Andrew breaks away from that, getting into the dirty air. But Justin takes that to his advantage, and now he's leaving these guys in the dust. Andrew Pratt, Teddy Wisniewski are now going to be duking it out side by side for second place. Teddy's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, it seems like. Andrew Pratt looking very promising on that low line. Very, very solid, very quick down there on the bottom line here as well. A bunch of other drivers seeming to do the same exact thing, trying to find that groove, the faster one at least here. And there it is. You see Andrew Pratt making his way around Teddy Wisniewski. Now we have the 95 of Jonathan Jennings, then the 51 of Andrew Williams, now all following kind of in their own little tail here, but we have a pack just further behind them. Nick Reynolds leading a pack of about 5 cars in the number 54 machine. He's going to have Andrew Porter on the outside. Andrew going to be in front of him for just a moment as they're going to be side by side going into turn 3. Coming out of turn 4, Andrew in the 16 able to get out in front of Nick Reynolds to take that number 6 position away from Nick. Nick is still in a good spot, though. He's up 3 positions from where he started. He's got Eric Peck behind him in the number 7, who is up 12 positions from where he started. So Eric is looking to do some work here as well. Try and get back into the front of the field here and possibly get into the top 5 here. These drivers getting absolutely close to one another here coming out of turn 4 on the front stretch. Going into turn 1, though, 3 wide for just a second there with the 81, the 99, and the 54 for just a second, but that was very, very quickly evaporated as well. Nick Reynolds still pushing as hard as he can. He's now down 1 position in the 11. We have drivers all over the field. A lot of overtaking happening at the moment. All of these guys doing an absolutely fantastic job trying to do whatever they possibly can. Eric Peck in the number 7 up 14 positions from where he started. He's kind of found himself in his lonesome, trying to just catch back up to the 16 of Andrew Corer, who is now in 5th place, and is working his way up the field very, very quickly here as well. Eric Peck trying to do everything he absolutely can here to try and catch up to the guys. We have contact as well. Oh, it seems like we had a little bit of contact from Chuck Cobb and the 34 of William Gentry there for just a second. Chuck Cobb looking like he wants to get a little bit of vengeance as well for that one. We're going to stay tuned with these guys here for just a second. We're also going to have the car track on the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well, so you can have an idea of where your favorite drivers are. And currently, Jeffrey Weimer, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, Jeffrey, feel free to correct me after the broadcast. But Jeffrey is also on the tail of these guys, trying to catch up with Chuck Cobb and Kevin Thompson, and Chuck is able to take that low line and work it to his advantage, as he's now going to be up in 6th place in front of Kevin Thompson, and Jeffrey Weimer taking that low line as well around Kevin Thompson. Kevin kind of finding himself falling off just a little bit. We have a driver going down pit road as well. Jonathan Jennings making his way down pit road. You can see on your screen a few different drivers have made their way into pit road. Right now, Wesley Whitfield in the 07, he is still on pit road. He's been there for about 10 minutes now, going on 11. Not really sure what happened to that 07 machine. Unfortunate to see that happen. It was looking very promising for that 07, but that's racing. It happens. Right now, Jeffrey Weimer is trying to put on a good impression here, put on a good race for himself, as he's going to work his way up into 5th place now, into the top 5 of these drivers here tonight. Andrew Pratt is now also leading this race, with Justin McMahon following behind him in the number 20 machine. Andrew Williams in 3rd, and Chuck Cobb 4th, Jeffrey Weimer in 5th. A lot of very, very solid drivers here tonight. But these two out in front are going to be duking it out here. Lap 48 of 80. Almost 32 laps left to go here. 31 as Andrew Pratt and Justin McMahon cross the line. So we're going to be looking at 31 laps here. A very exciting, very intense racing between these two guys, unless we see the field kind of bunch up here as we get closer and closer to the end of this race here, and tire wear starts to fall off. But as I say that, Andrew Pratt is going to duck it down into pit road. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, no, what happened? Oh, no. What in the world happened? A massive... Oh, no. That is not what you want to see here, folks. Oh, man. What happened? What happened? All right, before we even look at that, I want to ride on board with Andrew Pratt during this, and I want to see what happens from his perspective, because this is just I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. That's all I have to say. He misses pit entry. Did he? So he's decelerating. It looks like he's trying to get on the brake. Realizes he's not going to make it. And then he downshifts right here. Over revs it. And I think it's just full spin from there. He's not able to recover. He's just going too fast. Oh man, Andrew, no. Oh, Andrew Pratt definitely not having the race that he wants to have here today. That is going to hurt him big time. Oh, yikers. You know, I wasn't exactly expecting that. You know, and when it comes down to racing, when it comes down to sim racing, at even real life racing, pit entry, pit strategy, you know, those things are usually to the driver, it's not always the first thing on your mind. I guess you would say. Some drivers that might not be the case, but you know, it's one of those things that you practice it and you don't really think too much about it. And so it's really surprising to me when I see these incidents happen going into pit road, and it's just goes to show, if you are a sim racer or a real life racer, and you want to make sure you finish your race, practice pit entry. It's, you know, and I'm sure that Andrew has practiced it a dozen, if not 100 of dozen times, the same pit strategy, but it happens to everyone. It's very heartbreaking to see, and my heart goes out to Andrew. Andrew, if you're watching, I feel your pain. Alright, apologies for that, everyone. And it looks like as well that live timing decided to take a nap. So we're going to go ahead and fix that real quick. You guys will still be able to see the drivers making their way around track, but things are going to look a little frozen on the overlay side of things, but we're going to get that fixed up for you real quick here. It'll take just a moment. Alright, apologies for that again, everyone. It can, broadcasting for iRacing doesn't exactly always have its, it has its imperfections, we will say. It's definitely not a perfect perfect thing that always works all the time. Kind of have to mess with it a couple times and give it a kick in the keister every now and then to make sure that everything works properly. And there we go. The pace car heads into pit road. And green flag here once again with the 73 of Jeffrey Weimer. I don't know which one it is at this point. Michael Bowen also behind him. I'm sure Jeffrey will correct me after the broadcast, or I will bug him about it to make sure that I don't say it incorrectly for the next race. But anywho, the 73 looking absolutely fantastic. Mimicking almost the same strategy that we were seeing from, I believe it was, I believe the driver is actually left after, I'm not sure. Anywho, Jeffrey Weimer, Justin McMahon are going to be out in front here today, leading this race so far, as we only have 23 laps left to go here. Everyone is, I don't actually, since I had to restart my software, I've lost all the data that lets me know when everyone went into pit road last and how many times they've gone into pit road. So we're going to be playing a guessing game here as far as who is on the fresher tires. And right now, it seems like Justin McMahon is at least going to be a little bit faster than that number 20, Randall Barnett, going to be in third place as well, followed by Michael Bowen in fourth place. With 22 laps left to go here, and given how close this field is, it's going to be very interesting to see what some of these guys are going to try and do here to possibly get out in the front of the field and put on a little bit of competition here. As we see Randall Barnett going to be trying to take an outside line approach to getting around the 73 of Jeffrey. You can see there on the bottom of the track there for just a moment, out in front, there's actually lap traffic involved. I believe that's the 95, or no, that's actually the 99 of Kevin Thompson, who's going to be on that low line, taking up some of the track space for these guys here on the lead lap. So these guys on the lead lap are going to have to navigate their way around that number 99, and that might slow them down here just a little bit. One car might not seem like a lot, but as you just saw there for just a moment as well, if you were looking at the 99, you saw there Jeffrey Weimer in the 73 had to check up for just a second. Otherwise, he was going to run right into the rear end of that 99, Kevin Thompson. Great work there from Jeffrey, making sure that the race stays clean as much as he possibly can. And we're actually going to look here back at the track map that decided to call it quits. And right as I say that, we have a yellow flag, but I'm not seeing any incident for it. I'm not sure why we have gone into a yellow flag here with 17 laps left to go here. A little confused here, but that's all right. And if you're just now tuning in, this is not the first caution. This will actually be the second. I unfortunately had some software issues and was left with no other choice but to restart it, so we lost all the information from prior to that point. So things are just a little bit behind. That's all right. We're going to keep things going here. Only 17 laps left to go here in this race, and everything has looked very, very solid. We had a couple issues happen here. We had Andrew Pratt going into pit road, just not have the best time going into pit road, causing a little bit of a kerfluffle in the field. I believe actually this will be our third caution, if I'm not mistaken. For everyone watching in the chat right now, we're going to create a poll here real quick. Who is your driver to win tonight? There is a poll currently. It should be. There it is. All right, there is a poll currently up. Who is your driver to win tonight? Is it going to be Justin McMahon, Jeff Wimmer, Randall Barnett, or another driver? Who do you think is going to win tonight? Mention it in chat. Give a shout out to your favorite driver here for race number 12 at Iowa Speedway. And right now, you know, my money is going to be on Jeffrey. I really see that car having a really good start this time around. 14 laps left to go here. He's going to have to get around Justin McMahon, but if he can keep the pressure on Justin, if he can keep things as close as he possibly can, he might be able to get around that number 20 machine, but only time will tell. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to see how that goes. As the lights are going to go out on the pace car, this is going to be our last time around for, assumingly, our last green flag attempt at our lap here. Final few laps here at Iowa Speedway for race number 12 with Doghouse Racing League for the Next Gen Cup Thursday Night Series. And it has been fantastic here so far. We're also going to put up on screen as well, once we go green flag, show a little bit of our point standing as well, just so everyone can get a little bit of a refresher and see how it might change up here just a little bit. But right now, Jonathan Jennings is still the man to beat as far as points concerned, with nearly a 200-point lead here in the series. And there it goes into pit road. And the green flag is going to come out, and Justin McMahon is going to take that launch on the rest of the field here, with Jeffrey Weimer and Teddy Wisniewski going to be battling it out side by side for second place. Now Teddy taking that low line, finding a little bit of a groove there as he's able to get around the number 73 of Jeffrey Weimer. And my prediction is slowly fading away before my eyes, but Jeffrey is still holding on to what he can in third place, hopefully going to be able to take away a podium finish tonight, as Randall Barnett in the number 63 is going to have quite the competition behind him, a trail of drivers following in his tail. And before we go any further, here is your point standings before we wrap up the race here as well, to give you an idea of where everyone is. We'll even put up the tower just so you can see the names of all the drivers and where they currently are on track. Right now, Jonathan Jennings currently in 8th place. He's down a lap from the rest of the field right now. Andrew Pratt currently out of the race as he had that not so great incident going into pit road. Doug Solms in 16th place right now currently. Kevin Thompson in 7th place. And Eric Peck rounding out the top 5 in 10th place currently. So we have drivers competing for points that are kind of all over the grid right now. Not really a whole lot of, I guess you could say, competition between the top 5 drivers, as they're all over the field right now, and I think that's just the nature of Iowa. It's a very, very tough track to navigate. It's very open. You can get a lot of speed, and there's just so many options to find different grooves and overtake. It's a really unique track. It's very fun, and I personally enjoy racing on it, and I'm sure a lot of these guys do here as well, as we're still looking with Randall Barnett in the number 63. Let's ride on board with a driver here as well, just to get an idea, get a feel for what the field is like. Let's ride on board with the number 99, Kevin Thompson. With 5 laps left to go, it's going to be an exciting final 5 laps here at Iowa Speedway, and it looks awfully intense down there on track. We were riding on board with the number 99 of Kevin Thompson, who was looking absolutely fantastic out here tonight. As we go 3 wide with a few drivers coming out of turn 4 down the straightaway, 4 laps left to go here. We still have drivers battling for absolutely every position that they can. Justin McMahon out in first place still, and he has got quite the distance between himself and second place Teddy Wisniewski, who's also got the distance between himself and third place Randall Barnett, who has a absolutely angry swarm of drivers behind him looking to overtake and take that third place position from Randall here tonight. Let's see if anyone's going to be able to take advantage of that, as we only have 3 laps left to go here, and drivers are duking it out side by side all over the place. And actually, as I look here, most of the drivers behind Randall Barnett right now are lapped drivers. So most of them are just trying to unlap themselves and maybe even just put a little pressure on the front of the field here, as Jeffrey Weimer in 4th place currently has a few cars between himself and the 63 of Randall Barnett, but they're not on the lead lap. But speaking of lead lap, we are on the final lap here. Justin McMahon out in first place currently. Going down the back stretch, he's going to find himself with nearly a 2.25 second gap between himself and second place. Coming out of turns 4, he's going to take it down the front stretch. Across the checkered line for first place, Teddy Wisniewski in third place, and Randall Barnett leading a bunch of other drivers who will not be able to unlap themselves here for this race. Randall Barnett taking it home for third place tonight. And quite an impressive race from everyone here tonight as well. I have to say, I am quite surprised with what I saw here tonight, but it was very, very exciting up here in the booth, and I hope for everyone watching at home as well. As we are going to have Justin McMahon doing celebratory burnouts. I'm not sure that we are going to have driver interviews tonight. It does not look like we are going to. So that is going to wrap up our race here tonight for race number 12 at Iowa Speedway for the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series here with Doghouse Racing League. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action. I hope you all enjoyed and are excited for next week as we head to Auto Club Speedway for yet another race, race number 13. And after that, one final race left to wrap up the season here of the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series. And it has been a fantastic one here so far. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed tonight's action, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe as well if you did enjoy the action. And if you would like to stay tuned on the rest of Team Goon Squad action and catch some of the other events that we have here throughout the week. And actually, before we head out here, it looks like we have a couple drivers here that are able to get an interview in. So let's actually pull them in here before we head out. Let's start with Randall Barnett in third place. Randall, sir, can you read me?
Yes, sir.
Randall, how are you feeling right now, my man?
Shocked.
Absolutely. It was a very, very solid race out there for everyone involved. Personally, I enjoy Iowa. I think it's a very solid track, and it gives a lot of opportunity to just have a lot of pack racing, a lot of room to overtake, a lot of room to just get a lot of speed and just make the action very interesting. Going into tonight, Randall, what was kind of your expectations? Were you planning on finishing third tonight, or what was your thought?
I was planning on not finishing at all. I was eating up right front tires so bad through all of practices that I did that I literally didn't think I could make it to the end of the race without blowing tires.
Well, Randall, you pulled through. You absolutely pulled through. You made it happen, and the whole time you looked very impressive out there, Randall. So congratulations on your third place finish. And going forward, what are kind of your thoughts going forward with only 2 races left here and going into Auto Club Speedway next week?
Auto Club, I like Auto Club. I like anything that's bigger than these short tracks.
Absolutely.
I like road courses. I like Auto Club. Mile and a half, 2 miles, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I am a big fan of road courses myself as well, so I'll be excited for that here as well, Randall. But before I let you go here and celebrate third place finish here tonight, is there anyone watching or anyone at home that you would like to give a shout out to or thank before I let you go?
I want to thank Pratt, Kev, Booby, Kerr, Eric Peck, and Doug Solms. I mean, them guys helped me a lot trying to figure out different things I can do for my driving style.
Absolutely, yeah. It's everything always helps. The iRacing community is always a great resource as well. Everyone's very helpful with one another and always trying to help improve each other, and that's the great thing I love seeing is guys come together and really work to try and improve their racecraft, and it seems like it played in your favor tonight, Randall.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming out into the booth and talking with me tonight. Apologies for the little bit of a delay there. I didn't see anyone here in the waiting room, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen here, but I appreciate you guys coming in and having a word with me before we end things out here tonight.
Not a problem. Teddy's in the medical center room.
Yep. I'm going to pull him down here in just a moment.
All right, bud.
All right. Have a good night, Randall.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right. That's going to be Randall out of the booth here. Up next, Teddy Wisniewski in the number 26 machine in second place. Teddy, sir, do you have a read?
I do. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Ted. You had quite the fantastic race here tonight as well here at Iowa, and I was expecting to see a lot of great racing from a lot of drivers here, and I believe this is the first time I've seen you out here on track with Doghouse, so I got to give you a congratulations in second place. That was a hard-fought battle, and I got to ask you, duking it out there with Justin McMahon for first place for practically the entire race. What was going through your head? What were you trying to do to possibly mitigate that and get around that 20 after once he caught up to you and was pushing you there for a little bit?
I mean, I was hoping I wasn't, lazy with hitting the wall twice. First off, because that kind of ruined my race. But I don't know. I tried to soul search around the track, see what line worked for me, throttle points, whatever I can do to change it. Switched up the brake bias a little bit just to try to fix the tight on entry. But I hit the wall twice, my own fault, and that I think that was the defining factor, because then I had to try to get off pit strategy and hope for that to work, and we don't like to hope.
Yeah, it's definitely doesn't always play in your favor in the sport of racing when you're hoping for things to work out in your favor. But Teddy, you came out here tonight and you were able to pull out a second place finish still, and that's definitely nothing to frown at. So I gotta ask you, what's that gonna give you going forward into the rest of the season? I know there's only two races left, but is that gonna give you any sort of confidence going into any future seasons, or just in any sort of other races with next gen cars in general?
You always get confidence boosts after finishing well, and showing a lot of speed. Still not really much fan of these cars. I don't think they drive particularly well. But yeah, I get some confidence going.
Absolutely. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to see that play forward next week at Auto Club Speedway. Now, before I let you go here, Ted, and celebrate second place, is there anyone watching at home or anyone back at home that you would like to shout out or thank before I let you go here tonight?
Just want to thank the Southeast Motorsports guys. We all worked together pretty well and talked about strategy the whole time, and it worked out well. Thanks to those guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming out and talking with me tonight. Justin, Ted, have a great night.
You too.
All right, that's Teddy Wisniewski out of the booth in the number 26 machine. Last but certainly not least, Justin McMahon in the number 20. It's our final man in the booth here tonight. Justin, sir, do you have a read?
I do.
Justin, you were I was watching that number 20 machine for quite some time, and Justin, I gotta say, you were working your way through that field very, very impressively, and once you were able to get out in front, there was a caution that came out, and I think that was really what sort of played in your favor to get out in front and lead the race and just build an incredible gap between the rest of the field. What was it like kind of making that work in your favor and just leading this race as strong as you were towards the end of the last half of the race?
Yeah, I know I needed to save my tires as best I could, and I knew that caution saved my butt. The NASCAR guys were watching me there because I don't know what would have happened if I didn't catch most of the field a lap down with that. I stayed out as long as I could, hoping the tires weren't going to give out on me, but it ended up working out, and I messed around in practice a little bit trying to see how long I could save my tires for, and messed around with my brake bias also. And once I saw the 26 pull away, I knew that if we just kind of stayed back in a group and kind of just took it easy for a while, that we were going to catch back up to them, and we ended up doing that. And then green flag pit stops kind of happened, and then I stayed out and got lucky with the caution coming out and got the field a lap down.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of strange having these cautions come out. They were sort of in very, very odd places, and they didn't there was one caution in particular that involved multiple cars in an incident, and that was when Andrew Pratt had an issue going into pit road and caught the rest of the field off guard as he came up to the top of the front stretch. But after that, it seemed like the front of the field had a little bit of a change of pace, if you will, as we had a few drivers kind of fall off the front of the field, and then a few different guys were working their way up, and you were one of them as well. Teddy Wisniewski, another driver, and I also got to ask as well, Teddy was another driver that was having to mess with their brake bias a little bit, having to work with things a little bit more here tonight. What was kind of the biggest thing here that was giving you guys issues that you think was the biggest hassle to overcome here tonight?
Tire wear for sure. Just figuring out where to let off and brake going into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I noticed that in practice that was the biggest thing that was causing all the tire wear, and I was turning the wheel a lot more. I was just trying to roll on the brake and kind of let the brake slow the car down instead of just letting off. And that seemed to have helped a lot. I don't know how I stayed out front that far. I thought those guys were going to eat me alive because I felt like if I drove it hard, I was going to wear the tires out from it, and they were going to catch me and go right by. But I don't know. It was a fun race. It was tough. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it worked out in our favor.
Absolutely, yeah. Coming out here and finishing it out in first place. That's definitely a night to walk away with a smile on your face for sure. Now, Justin, going forward with only two races left, next week is Auto Club. What are kind of your thoughts? Are you kind of expecting things to be a little bit chaotic at Auto Club, or what are your thoughts about next week and the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect. I mean, I guess it could go either way. I was coming in here tonight thinking that it was going to be a potential wreck fest, and it ended up being a pretty good green flag run. So, I mean, anything can happen with these guys here. We'll see how it goes. It should be fun either way.
Absolutely, yeah. I look forward to it as well. Justin, before I let you go here tonight, is there anyone watching or anyone at home that you would like to shout out or give a thank you to before you go and celebrate your first place finish tonight?
Yeah, my brother Nick's watching. He's trying to support me here and there. It's kind of funny to be on these broadcasts and have family members be able to watch it from home without having an iRacing account. So he's at home probably drinking a beer, watching me race a little bit. It's kind of neat. But and iRacing and SimiCube and all those guys that make it right and make us, give us the ability to do what we do on here. So it's pretty fun. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Justin. Thank you for coming out here and talking with me tonight. Congratulations on your first place win, and I look forward to seeing you next week and hopefully get to see some of the similar results for next week at Auto Club.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, Justin. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, that's Justin McMahon in the number 20 machine out of the booth, wrapping up our driver interviews for tonight. Again, I would like to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you tonight's action. Thank you all for tuning in, and make sure that you tune in next week, same time, same place, for the Auto Club race number 13 for the Next Gen Cup Thursday night series with Doghouse Racing League. I will see you all next week.
Driver Carrington